process of increasing in size. A feature that is both individual, intrinsic, and throughout nature.
This is going to be so interesting, you know.
This is the moment we have been waiting for.
I'm feeling it now.
What has come before is now consigned to the history books. This new decade brings new challenges, new rivals, falling giants, and new beginnings.
Bang, bang, bang! 3 shots to the heart.
Oh,
the back end.
Oh no!
Those who are climbing will meet. Who will fall by the wayside, and who will embody growth.
There's still wheel to wheel!
That is unbelievable.
League of Europe, grow or fade.
How is it going, everyone? Welcome back to the League of Europe. We are here for Division 3 for this evening. Of course, this is the second pre-season race of the season. My name is Jacob, taking you guys, of course, through this for this season. And this time, I am actually joined by Mr. Killer Blue himself. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing very well, thank you. Excited to be here because this is actually my first LOE commentary. I've done it a little bit before for INL and the 24-hour event, but never for LOE, so I'm very excited. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Currently, as this is going on, I'm in the middle of a 24-hour Daytona, so there might be times where I might try and flick over to that, but yeah, obviously I'll let Killer then just sort of crack on from that. But of course, that's not what we're here for. We are here, of course, for the second pre-season race of the season. Last time out in Hungary, Mr. XL Tinkan did end up taking the win out on track by quite a significant amount. I believe second place ended up going to, was it Euron that came second, I believe it was? No, sorry, no, it wasn't Caesar because he ended up crashing on the last lap. Sorry, Caesar. But yeah, no, I'm sure one of the two Division 4 guys that got moved up with Rudy and Euron, they've done very well last week, so definitely wants to watch out for. And like you were saying, I think before we started the live stream, Killer, Rudy was in your Killer Instincts.
He was, yeah. I mentioned to you there were only 2 drivers in D3 last week at Hungary who managed to not pick up a penalty. He was one of them, and he ran very well in, I think, the top 6. And this week, Mexico has even more of a reputation for being a penalty fest. So, you know, I'm expecting him to, if he can keep that going, that he's going to put in a very strong result this weekend. Because last season as well in D4, I had him down as a D3 driver pretty much from the get-go. He seemed too quick for that division, so he's my tip for, if not a win, definitely a podium today.
Yeah. No, it's definitely good to see as well. And yeah, like you were saying, of course, not just that one that's moved up from Division 4 of Rudy, but Euron as well, putting in an impressive performance last week in Division 3. Both of the Division 4 guys making a bit of a statement as to why they should be in Division 3 for this season. I've got to say though, there was a couple of disappointments from last week. And of course, Caesar being the major one, unfortunately on the second to last lap, him having that spin. I'm not too sure if he did manage to watch it back in the end, but he was definitely one of them that was a little bit of a disappointment. Very unfortunate for him because he had a very good strategy that he went on where I thought he was going to end up taking the win from Tinkan last week. Miami being another one as well. I would have thought he would have been up there along with them, and same with Commentalist. Both of those guys, I'm expecting them to be up there, as well as TDB as well. I mean, he had a good recovery drive, but I mean, after that, what happened in the first lap shouldn't have happened even in the first place. So hopefully we'll see those guys at least make something up a bit more. But I mean, yeah, of course I'm going on board with last week's race winner, Killer, of Mr. XL Tinkan. I've got to ask the obvious question: do you see him maybe moving up into D2?
And not before the season starts. Possibly 2 or 3 races in, if there is some movement, but you have to think who's going to come down from D2, and there's no obvious candidates for that as well. And having said that, it looks like he's just gone invalid. He's back completely out of that lap. Sandbags are out already.
He's just he's making sure that he doesn't get himself promoted as we were just talking about it. So I believe that who's going to be the first one across the line? I think it might actually be Carmentalist.
It is, and I was on board with him through the start of the lap, and he had quite a tentative turn 1 and 2, 3. You can cut those corners a little bit, and he just kept it on the red and white strips. Didn't seem too aggressive. Had a little squirm of oversteer on the exit as well. So I think, given the risk of invalidation, everyone just seems a little bit cautious on their first laps. Certainly none of the times so far are making me, well, sit up and take notice. Everyone just wants to get a lap of some description in.
Yeah, no, of course. I was just about to go on board with Barton, but he's unfortunately invalidated his lap. This is his first race in the League of Europe as well. He's down as a reserve for this season. So racing with Barton before as well, I know that him and Miami are relatively similar paced. So Barton definitely, I mean, depending on how many races he races in the League of Europe, of course with him being down as reserve, could be a bit interesting. Another one, definitely, that we need to watch out for, I would say, is the one that has just gone on pole position. And towards the end of Division 3 last season, he picked up his pace massively to the point where me and him, even though we were teammates last season, we were both battling with each other. So Chill, I would definitely say, is one we need to keep our eye out for. I don't know if it's just because Mexico's a good track for him.
And just to give a shout out, he did want a shout out. It's his birthday. I can't remember if it's today or tomorrow. Happy birthday, Chill. Yeah, so him and TDB are first guys into the 113s, and I hope it's not going to stay that way, because D3, you are disappointing me so far at these times. I was hoping that we might even see 13-4, 13-3 maybe for pole position was my hope.
Yeah.
Not really seeing that so far, are we?
No, I was expecting that quite a few more faster times as well. Like you were saying, yeah, only 2 of them are so far in the 13s. Last season pole position, I think it was either by myself or by Yorno with a 13-4 or something like that. So I'm hoping we're going to see a few more guys in the 13s. I think Mark definitely is capable of getting in it, and same with Tin Can. But at the moment, I'm right on board with Miami. He's just gone purple through Sector 1, coming through the double right-handers as we speak in the racing point, making his way up towards the S section. Very easy to invalidate through here, but he's looking like he's keeping a nice, neat and tidy line coming through here, making sure he keeps it as much on the throttle as possible. Very nicely done indeed. And I think we've also got a couple other guys that are just also starting on their laps just up in front, but Miami is going to be the next one across the line to do a time, coming through the stadium section. Nicely done through there as well, and I believe this could be a pole position for him. Well, for now anyway. Could be best in Chill. Up towards the line goes Miami. He does by... oh no, he doesn't. He lost it out by 2 thousandths of a second. I thought he took the pole position then.
Who else have we got on laps that could challenge? Tin Can's on his second lap. I wonder if he's gone for 4 sets of tyres for this session. Drivers, if they're going valid, they've got to be thinking about having that extra set of tyres in hand for another lap if they need it. He says he's gone purple in Sector 1 but went very deep into Turn 4.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think he actually went on his outlap on a set of the mediums, so he has only just gone with either the balanced or the harder set of tyres. I'm assuming balanced, as everybody here would need to start on a set of the soft tyres. That's mandatory, so I can understand why a few people going out on a set of the mediums just to get a feel for the track, get a feel for their setups and stuff like that. But yeah, everyone needs to go on a set of the soft compounder tyre, and even on the start as well. There aren't any sort of reverse stratas or anything. It's literally everyone going on a set of softs and just testing out everybody's pace. Tin Can came up to the line and only a 14.1.
It was quite a tepid lap. There were a few lazy apexes that I saw, particularly through sectors 2 and 3. I wonder if nerves are getting to a few of these guys, because I keep saying it, but these lap times are very restrained so far. As JSD, I don't know if that went invalid or he's bailed on his lap coming into the pits. Do we have anyone on a lap right now? Jacob?
I believe Harenwag in 20th at the moment. In the Mercedes, he's on a lap. He's actually, again, purple sector 1. I don't know if it's just because Chill had a bit of a bad first sector and a really good second and third, but at the moment, the Greek is the one that's going purple, going through the S section at the moment. Again, a few, like you were saying, lazy apexes. He's doing the exact same thing at the moment as we speak, coming up towards the end of sector 2. Is he also purple? Apparently so. So
he was 2/10 up on Chill in sector 1, but let me check. 4/10 down in the middle. Not what he needs.
So he's going to need a really good exit out of this final corner. Here we go, the Greek of Harenwag coming up towards the line. A 14-1 as well, only just besting Tin Can, 1,000th behind Peter, who is actually also coming through the stadium section and is it was almost half a second up on his time. So Peter about to possibly go on the pole position as he makes his way up towards the line. I know, is it very quick here last season, and yes, he does, a 13.6.
Very nice from Peter. He did say in the I think he said in the Discord he was doing mid to low 13s, and he was wondering if that was any good. Well, right now it's good enough for pole position. Do we have... Who's out there? Is Chill on a lap? Chill has just crashed the pit entry.
I think the worst thing was he was up on his time as well. So, unfortunately, no improvement for Chill at the moment. But
and Damon has just gone invalid as well. 3 of the S's.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
I suppose the good thing for these guys going invalid is they're not alone. Seems to be whatever's happening is affecting all of them.
Tim Mats was just taking some sort of side road. That was a very, very odd side road, to say the least. I think Jeroen Visser is going to be the next one to make his way up towards the line and get a time on the board. From what it looks like, I can also see, I think TDB is the one that is just chilling up behind, getting ready to start a lap. But he's got to make sure that he doesn't get in the way of Caesar as well. But Jeroen making his way around the final corner. Dutchman up towards the line. A 14.4 to his name. We are really seeing a lot slower lap times. I mean, is it clear weather all the way, or have we got rain or anything?
No, it's clear weather all the way, but Car Mentalist coming into the stadium section is on a very good lap. A 0.7 in sector 1, into the 26s in sector 2. He's just got to keep it tidy in sector 3, which he has done. This could take him pole, and it does, into the 13.3s. And pole by some margin as well, nearly 2.5 tenths of a second.
That's a very good lap time from Car Mentalist, and as I was saying this before as well, ones that we need to keep our eye out on, he was definitely one of them. Mark up to the line into P6, a 13.8 to his name as well, only just shy of TDV's time, who is also currently on a lap and up only by just under a tenth of a second, and is invalidated.
Although these times aren't quite as they're not quite as low as I was expecting, we are seeing it's very close from second to 11th, that kind of half second. It's pretty evenly spread throughout, and we've got quite a cluster of people in the 14 zeros and 1s as well. So 10th here, 10th there, especially when it's so easy to invalidate. There's a lot of places to gain here for people on their last laps, because I can't imagine many people will be doing 4 runs, given I'm expecting people to run the softs twice in the race.
Yeah. No, of course. Like, I mean, if anybody is unaware of what the strategy is, it is literally it's quite an easy soft medium, or soft medium soft, whichever way that you want to take it. But yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see. As I suppose Miami up on his lap at the moment, 2 tenths up on his time, and there's quite a few cars in this stadium section, which I think might have hampered him ever so slightly. I think the Car Mentalist just moving off the racing line a bit too late, but Miami making his way up to the line. He's a 13.6, 1,000th this time behind Peter. So he's 2,000ths behind Chill. He's now 1,000th behind Peter. I wonder if that means that he's going to match Car Mentalist's time.
I spoke about fine margins. That is
that's
how
as fine as you can get.
Fail
yeah,
twice.
That is as fine as you can get. Very, very interesting. But yeah, a lot of guys now just into the pits. We're just going to wait for them to all, I suppose because we're only into the last 5 minutes of the session now, we'll probably see a lot of people come out in about 2 minutes time, but a few guys just,
We've
I think
got
just
Peter on a lap, I think,
Is
coming
it?
coming into the turn 4 and 5. He's 28.0 in sector 1, nothing particularly inspiring, but you just got to hook the lap up and really the time will come. You don't have to stand out anywhere at this track. If you just manage to link it up, particularly through this S section, the time will come. But he's gone invalid at the last left-hander, and
I think that was looking on for a good time as well, although it
yeah,
did say he's
looking at his
1,000
second
down.
sector split.
Yeah. Yeah, so unfortunate for Peter, no improvement for him at the moment. I'm assuming he's just going to make his way straight into the pits. Yep, he certainly does. And he is going to get himself on a fresh set of softs to go out for his final run. Like you said, we should be expecting quite a few guys just to do 2 sets of softs, as Tim Matt, I think the first one out on his final run now. Massive lock up going in towards turn 1, not taking enough curb of course into turn 2, but making sure he does stay valid. Making his way up towards turn 4 now with DRS of course being wide open. Is he up on his time? By 3/10 as well, so this could look to put him around 16th, 15th. Of course, like you were saying, there are fine margins at the moment in this midfield. Obviously 7th to 9th all split by 400ths. 10th and 11th of course also split by about 300ths of a second. Just different sort of gaps that are looking in each places where Tim Mats could literally just slot into them if he plays his cards right in this S section.
We're just watching this lap. It looks like he, above anything, he's just trying to stay valid. He's staying nice and far away from the curbs. It looks like he doesn't feel like risking it and rolling the dice on this last lap. He just wants to get any kind of improvement he can.
He certainly is.
Which I suppose grid position counts for much more, given that these guys outside the top 10 can't start on those mediums, and he goes 12th. But he has quite a large cluster of drivers right behind him, within a tenth and a half, who could put him right back to where he started.
Yeah, no, certainly will. And another one that I was going to go on board with was going to be Raleigh JT, but unfortunately he's invalidated his lap, so we will have to wait for him to come back around and get started once again. I think he actually will be the next one to make his way across the line, because he's a little bit further up ahead than what the guys are that have just come out of the pits. Or I could be completely wrong. I think Tin Can is going to be the next one, or one of the McLarens. I think that's actually Caesar, who is going to be starting his lap first.
Damon instantly invalid at the apex of turn 1. I think we might have a few more of those. So
Yeah.
who's next onto their lap? Caesar?
It is Caesar.
Yeah.
Certainly is. So the Indian now at the moment running at 205 miles per hour, and that is only increasing with that DRS wide open. Now breaking at the 100 meter zone in towards turn 1, keeping it into 3rd gear, making sure you get the run out of there, coming through turn 2 and turn 3. For some reason the words out of my mouth just decided they wanted to just discombobulate, but anyway, making his way up towards turn 4 now. Of course, DRS once again wide open, 7/10 up on his time. So at the moment, this is looking like it could be a massive improvement from him in the McLaren. Making his way through turn 5 and turn 6, nicely done, and through the double right-hander now, where there's just a little bit of traffic in his way, and he's going to have a lot of traffic in his way up in front of him. So may need to play his cards right. Of course, everybody needing to get out of the way. Making his way through the S section now, however, making sure he keeps it in.
Oh,
I was about to say keeping it valid, unfortunately invalidating at the end of the S's, and so he might try and gear up to go for another run. He was 7/10 up on his time. Very unfortunate for Caesar, because now it is an invalidated lap for him.
Yeah, those S's very much are like threading the thread through the needle, and we've seen a lot of drivers come unstuck there today. Who is furthest along? Tin Can's invalid. That's not what we needed.
Raleigh's
not
also
what he
done
did.
the same as well. I'm not too sure who's the next one. I think Carmentalist? Yeah.
Old School's invalid.
Carmentalist is the next
TDP
one,
nice
and
start.
as I go on board with him, he's invalidated his lap, and he was up on his time as well, so... Sorry, Aiden.
Got XL Miami going through the S's. Curse the commentator there for you, Jack. Let's look very tidy through there. Kept a lot of speed, but he's down on his time by a tenth of a second. Can he claw it back in sector 3? I think Carmentless's time is safe for now.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like it. But Miami now coming around a final corner, trying to keep it as tight as he possibly can for the lead up to the final corner. And across the line goes Miami into P2. He does improve on his time, 1800ths of a second. Chill, by the way, 3,000ths of a second. So if Miami did not improve on his time, they would have all been split from second to fourth by 4,000ths of a second.
That is crazy close, and I think leaders are locked in because Peter. Oh, I say that Caesar goes fifth, but Peter and TDB both invalid. But Caesar pulled it out at the end with his one and only flying lap after that 15-0 that he did at the start. And Ben wasn't invalid. He goes second. Perhaps that was his outlap. Do you know?
Very strange. Very strange. I'm not too sure what that was for.
Went
but
on board and his mini map was red.
Yeah.
Perhaps that was his outlap.
That is very strange indeed. I thought he would have. He wasn't invalid on that at all. But yeah, I was about to go on board with Raleigh, but he's just made his way into the pits. Harenwag has completely lost his front wing, so he is not improving on his lap. That is actually everyone done with their lap times. Commentalist showing, I suppose, the same pace as what he did last week, and same with Tin Can. With those guys qualifying in first and second once again. Miami in third this time, however. So. I mean, I'm intrigued to see how a couple of these XL drivers are going to fare on in this as well. Of course, Bree, our division coordinator, not being here tonight. So, again, another one of those XL members we need to try and keep our eye out on. I promise you, we are not XL biased, even though we are both in XL. But, yeah, I mean, it's definitely ones that we will need to try and keep our eyes out on for sure.
So that is a very tasty grid to me. In spite of all the validations and mistakes and missed apexes, I'd say the cream has risen, and the top 9, I think any of them with a bit of luck can easily pick them out as a potential winner, because Mexico, the race of the season nominee from D1 and 2 from last season, does tend to throw up a bit of chaos, particularly if there's a safety car involved, which of course we have this week.
For sure. I'd actually say anybody in the top 11 could definitely be within that shout. But, of course, Commentalist is the one that is starting on top with Tin Can second, Miami in third, Peter in fourth, Chill in fifth with Caesar in sixth, TDB in seventh, Old School in eighth, Rudy in ninth, Barton in 10th, Damon in 11th with Raleigh in 12th, Luke 05 in 13th, Harenwag in 14th, I think it was Sofian in 15th, and then I did not manage to catch the rest of the grid. But I believe there was a couple of guys that didn't end up getting laps in, which I think those of those guys being JSD and Vapor Trench, I think, were the two that didn't end up getting laps in, so they're starting in 19th and 20th.
Very well done. Well, very well saved. Apologies for talking during the lineup.
That's fine. I mean, it's we still got to get a bit more used to the both of us doing comms, because this is our first comms together. So
this is very exciting, though.
Yeah.
Is anybody going to forget themselves and go on mediums? Because I'm in the race director right now, and we have 5 drivers currently selected for mediums. Raleigh, Hariniorg, Tim Mats, Jerome, Visser, that is, and JSD.
Indeed. So let's have a look and see who. I hope nobody has gone on a set of the mediums. Let's take a quick look. And your Rowan has.
We have one. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Can penalties carry over from pre-season to Austria, Mr. Organiser?
That one I would have to ask the head of F1 on PS4. So give me 2 seconds.
Be very interested to see how many people, if any, go for a double medium in this race, because I think the common wisdom is that a soft medium for that extra undercut is the quickest way to go, or a soft medium soft even. But I've heard people do soft mediums, it's not gone quite as well for them as guys who have done a double soft. So, and they do drop off very quickly, the softs here, so it's very interesting to see if people starting on fresh softs can make them go a lap or 2 longer and get a little bit more out of them. Because even though you can't alt strap, I think there's going to be a noticeable advantage as the tyres go off to the guys that just have that extra lap in hand, because they do drop off by the end by about 3 or 4 tenths on the lap.
Yeah.
It is quite a staggering drop off once they do start to go. And who's that McLaren who fancies themselves leading the
Right, that's Caesar. I think he's just trying to show what he's going to do in this race, and that is for him to try and take the lead of the race, of course. But of course, Car Mentalist is the one that is on pole position for now in that Ferrari car. So, I mean, I am very intrigued because, of course, Car Mentalist and Tin Can both in D2 last season. Caesar, who has been in Division 1, I think it was 2 seasons ago now. TDB in D2, Mark from D2 as well. We could be seeing Chill as well. We could be seeing quite a few of these guys. Well, it's going to be up and down. I don't know who's going to win this one. It's going to be very tight to call. But we are now getting these 5 red lights on. And they went out very quickly. Lights out and away we go. And it looks like Car Mentalist is getting a good start from everybody as well. Peter getting them absolute great traction coming off at the start. And now already making it 3 wide for the top 3. Car Mentalist is trying to hold it around the outside. But Peter is going to be the one that is going to go down the middle of everyone. And I think is going to be taking the lead of this race. Tin Can trying to hold it around the outside. And Car Mentalist trying to hold it down that inside for turn 2, but unfortunately loses out that place to Peter. Miami managing to squeeze back through into P3, and Tin Can already down in the P5. Chill getting past him, and now under pressure from Old School as well, as Old School trying to go around the outside in towards turn 4, keeping around that outside, and a bit of wing damage. I think that was from the McLaren of Caesar.
In the McLaren, yes. They all kept very well behaved, didn't they, until turn 4. The lead is going 3 wide into turn 1, but it's Peter who's got the best start. And that is not what Caesar needed at all. But have we had any big gainers on this first lap?
I would definitely say Peter is the big gainer from that. I think he gained about 3 paces from that.
He did. Tin Can, the big loser, down 3. No one else has moved more than a couple of positions.
Yeah, I'm very unfortunate for Tin Can, but a very good start for the Dutchman of Peter, as Car Mentalist is now just trying to put as much pressure as he possibly can. And I think Caesar and Barton both side by side through the stadium section. I think this is really holding up the rest of the guys in that bottom in the bottom lot that are outside of that top 7. And Caesar, I think, is just making his way into the pits now. Barton being released, but Tin Can also. Wait, is it just a timing glitch?
I think we've got a timing glitch, yeah.
Lovely. Lovely, lovely. There was me thinking that there was going to be something insane that was going on, and I think there is, actually.
And Miami nearly sailed into the back of Car Mentalist there. He was lucky not to go deep and hold on to 3rd place. Looked like he almost hit him. I don't know if that was desync or he just missed his braking point or what. But
yeah, very close back as well. Yeah, very, very close from him indeed, as Rudy now just trying to hold it around the outside of, I believe that is Luke 05 HD. Both of these guys going side by side through turn 4 and turn 5. Luke going around the outside of Rudy in towards a double right-hander as well. I don't think he's going to be able to try and get any sort of move done, although they are still both side by side, but Rudy getting a much better traction coming out of the double rights. And now Rudy just managing to maintain that P9 spot from Luke. Very good driving from the pair of them.
I think I just caught a flash of Old School going very wide at the end of the S section, and so that the Caesar train, as it were, for all of 2 sectors is put a 3.5 second gap between 7th and 8th. So we've got very much a I wouldn't say a breakaway group. The race is just split into completely 2 factions.
Yeah. No, it certainly is. As I'm looking on board with Car Mentalist, he has got that overspeed on Peter, but has to yield that for now. Doesn't want to try and lose any more time to Miami behind him. They're starting a gap from what looks like starting to gap Miami and Chill ever so slightly, but I don't know how it was. Miami just literally made up about 2 attempts just coming out of turn 3 alone, as Yaron picking himself up a 3-second time penalty. Of course, him starting on those medium tyres. I'd say he's a bit more hampered than what the rest of the guys are, as Barton and Rudy both trading places, and Rudy now up into 8th, Barton down to 9th.
Yeah, if anyone has any pace in hand, this is the lap to use it, because once DRS comes into effect next time round, you have not a hope in hell in getting a second clear. This overspeed provided by the DRS this track is insane, and Miami, I think he's just going to about hang on. If not, we could see a runaway pair here, because DRS is just so overpowered.
Yeah.
If you drop out that second, you're not getting back in it.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's very, very difficult to try and get yourself out of that DRS. Definitely, to say the least. Hopefully, we'll be able to get. Well, I guess we'll wait and
I
see.
think it's car mentalist.
A few that we don't know.
Sails
but yeah,
around the outside.
Yeah, getting that move
Car
done.
mentalist sails into the lead, and he has now, thanks to that, a hefty ERS advantage as well, and a second dose of DRS for good measure down to turn 4. Let's see if he can gap him now this lap. He's gone purple in sector 1, perhaps as expected.
So,
Any other moves this first lap of DRS?
I haven't been able to see any, other than, of course, down in P15 now of Jeroen and Harrenwag. They're both still side by side, but Harrenwag just getting overtaken by him then. The two Vapor Boys of Tim Mats and Trench both side by side through the double right-hander as well. And I think Tim Mats might have just squeezed Trench that bit too far, and Tim Mats getting that move done on his fellow Vapor teammate. I think there'll probably be a few words in the Vapor chat after that, but yeah, very good to see so far indeed. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly just transition it over to this, because we are getting an on board with the person that is currently in second place of Peter. He's already dropping out of that 1 second zone to car mentalist, so a very good lap from the Ferrari driver, to say the least. And he didn't end up actually getting any DRS, and is only currently on 10% ERS to his name. So at the moment, Peter falling quite a bit back behind, as Miami also having that DRS to him. We could be seeing a bit of a change going on for second place very shortly.
Yeah, very much so. The fact that Peter's got no DRS or ERS, he's left himself, in trying to get back close to car mentalist, he's left himself very vulnerable to Miami behind, who's now just a quarter of a second behind as Trench picks up a penalty. Already we've got quite a few penalties coming at the back. A little slide for Peter there out of turn 5. Tyres will be starting to cry a little bit now, particularly in those slow traction zones, turn 3, 4, and the stadium section as well. Just riding on board with Miami. It's painful to watch the dirty air that you get through there. The car just washes and slides across the track, and Miami picks up a penalty because of it. First of the leaders to pick one, but I doubt he will be the last.
No, for sure. And what I'm also going to quickly do, is seeing if I can do it, is yeah, I'm going to do another thing in a sec as well, of riding on board with, not only on board with Peter, who's now dropped out of 1.5 seconds to car mentalist, but also somebody within the midfield. But before we do that, Miami, here we go. This is where the move's going to be done. DRS now wide open, not even needing to use overtake, down the inside of Peter in towards turn 2, giving him the massive squeeze just before, even on the straight, and getting that move done. So Miami now up into second place. 1.5 seconds separates him and car mentalist. I wonder if we'll see another move done.
Peter's about to lose another place here. Here comes Chill. I think Peter moved a little bit late to take that place, and they bump wheels.
Yeah, certainly a bit of bumping going on between the pair of them. Chill though, going around the outside of Peter in towards turn, looks like turn 6, I think that is. So, sorry,
Peter
turn 5.
really looks. Yeah, just Peter really looks like he's not enjoying these tyres anymore. I wonder if he's going to pit and go double medium, because he is losing heaps of time right now. As Ben gained, I think, like 2-3 tenths on him through through those S's.
Yeah,
looks all at sea.
he definitely does. He looks like those tyres have definitely dropped off for him too much. So I think Peter possibly in this lap for him is a little slide, as Tin Can having a bit of a slide as well, coming out of that final corner. Old School into the pits early. So Mark, definitely the first one to try it, and now Tin Can going down the inside of Peter, leading up in towards turn 1. We could be seeing another move as well. Chill trying to go down the inside of Miami in towards turn 1. Going to be doing this Noah's Ark style 2x2 in towards turn 1. Peter trying to go for a bit of a switchback on Tin Can, but no possible move done for him. And now Miami going to be a bit under pressure from Tin Can once again. It's another XL versus XL member, and it's a QBR versus XL just up in front here, as car mentalist now sailing off in the lead.
Yeah, Tin Can was lucky to get away with that. He went very deep into turn 2, but managed to pull it back. Peter couldn't take advantage. And I wonder if we're going to see these 3, possibly 4, squabble all race. Maybe TDB can get in action, can get past Peter, because Peter right now does not seem like he belongs in this train. He's barely hanging onto it by his fingertips. And
Yeah.
I missed it. Did Mark go on to mediums?
He went on
the
a set of softs.
That's very early for a double soft stop.
So I wonder if it means he's going on a set of the hards towards the end then.
If he has to spend longer on those tyres than he likes, it's going to be very painful. I mentioned formation lap how much these tyres drop off. If he's having to do 11, 12 laps on those tyres, he could be seconds a lap slower by the end of it.
It certainly is.
So TDB's into the pits for mediums.
Quite a few other guys. Interestingly enough, Raleigh coming in, Sofian. Oh, both of the AlphaTauris are double stack. So Jarry is I suppose, in the politest way of saying, Jarry's in the mud. But yeah, very unfortunate for him. Very unfortunate for him, but we got this battle here for going for P2, Miami and Chill. Miami going around the outside of Chill in towards turn 4, and then Chill getting massive bit of oversteer coming out of turn 5. Miami just forcing his way straight through into P2 goes the Racing Point, and now Carmentalist, really all he's got to do is just make sure he doesn't get a penalty. He's absolutely sailed off in front and left the rest of these guys battling for P2. It just left them for dust.
Yeah, you mentioned he doesn't need to get a penalty, but right now even if he gets a penalty, he's very close to having one in hand over the guys behind, all of whom already have them. So things look very comfortable for Carmentalist right here.
Very true for sure. Peter, of course, the other one out of this top, out of second to fifth without any sort of penalty. Chill once again. I think he's also going to get this move done on Miami once again. Just a bit of switching that's going on between these guys now as Barton a 5-second stop go for speeding into the pit lane, but Miami conceding that place to Chill. Chill now up into P2. And, well, I mean, Barton, as I said, making his way into the pits. I'm assuming he's also going to go on a set of medium tyres. He certainly is. So, I wonder where he's actually going to come out in relation to everybody else. But, I must admit, Mark could get quite a bit of an undercut on the guys up ahead of him. It just depends on how he's going to play on his second stint.
He could catapult himself in front of his train, but I think the question is, can he hang on then without being a Peter-style mobile chicane for those guys when they come towards him, because he is the only one who's pitted, who's actually gone onto the softs. Everyone else has had a look at them and thought, I don't want that, thank you, or maybe they don't have any left. Because for guys who picked balance or the hard option, they would have used all their tyres in qualifying.
If, of course, they did do the 3 runs. If they'd done 2, then they should be fine. But I'm pretty sure all of them did end up doing 3 runs. But another thing that was a bit interesting as well, I've seen Miami's lost out another place, and this time it was the tin can that was going through turn 4, I believe it was. So I think Miami's tyres are starting to go off as Chill into the pits. Another one out of the front runners, I think the first one out of the front runners actually, that made his way into the pits. So really, this is where we're going to see where Mark is going to come out in relation to Chill, because Mark currently down in 12th position. Whereabouts is he on track?
He's just coming out the last corner now, and I think he's going to get Chill here, you know? He does, easily. So the undercut, I think Carmentalist will have to sit up and take notice of that, because if he gives Chill too many laps, he could find his lead completely eroded. He's very lucky, I'd say, that Chill didn't go onto the softs, because if he did, Carmentalist would have to pit this lap or he'd be back in DRS range.
Well, something else that's a bit interesting is that TDB's also just gotten past Chill, and they're both battling, so Chill's going to be losing out quite a significantly amount of time just from the battles alone, but TDB going down the inside and getting past Chill. This is where it's going to get a bit interesting, as they're still both side by side. Chill trying to hold it around the outside of TDB, but just has to concede that position in the end. TDB has now pretty much got the jump on the rest of that train. That's from second down to 4th now. I wonder if we're going to see these guys pit, as I believe Carmentalist does. Tin Can, Miami and Peter are all in.
Yeah, I think for a double soft race, that is the best lap to pit. Carmentalist go mediums. Everyone looks like they're going mediums, but just on that TDB Chill battle, I thought Chill maybe hung that out around the outside a bit longer than really he needed to, and he probably lost more time. There was no chance he was getting that place back once they were alongside into turn 5 and 6.
Yeah. Well.
Carmentalist is going to get jumped by both of them here.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. And is Chill going to make a double overtake down into turn 1? Oh, they come to blows, and Chill spun sideways. Tin Can, Miami, Peter all say thank you very much, and Chill loses out to Rudy as well, who was at the front of that Caesar train. So, worth pointing out that Rudy's really dragged himself right back into this one as well.
Oh, we got a bit of side-by-side action. Commentalist and TDB lost out to that position now. Tin Can trying to go down the inside. Tin Can, of course, are going on a set of those soft tyres as well. Same as Mark. And I just want to say, Mark is actually now technically our net race leader.
He's in the net lead.
Well, how the turntables, I suppose.
If he can make these tyres last, that is a master stroke. And if he can avoid any further pens as well. But Tin Can being on the softs, he needs to get past Carmetlist in the next 4 corners. Otherwise, his hopes of a race win could slip away from him. He needs to be able to pass and gap the Ferrari. Otherwise, those soft tyres being wasted, and Carmetlist is going to have them later on in the race when their advantage might be even greater. But I say that, but it looks like it's going to be textbook.
Yeah, straight down the inside of the Ferrari, getting that move done. The old classic Ferrari versus Williams, and it looks like the Williams is the one that's come out on top of that one. So, Tin Can now up into a net second place. The only other person that's still yet to make a pit stop is that Jeroen Visser in P1. Of course, he started on those set of those medium tyres, so needs to try and get that one sorted out. But it looks like there's some definitely commotion going on in the background here as Barton now trying to go down the inside of Chill in towards turn 4. Gonna try and hold it around the outside is Chill. Barton, I think, just gonna back off from that fight and just stay behind the Haas for now. And it looks like a little battling going on behind as well.
Yeah, we've got a couple of big trains there. We've got a Tin Can train, and we have a Chill train. So, yeah, we've seen the leaders. It was Carmentalist and everybody else, and now it's split into, well, kind of 2 or 3 groups. We've got Mark and Ben making a run for it, and then we have Carmentalist, TDB in Miami, and Peter. And then Chill, who's found himself completely cut adrift off, looking like he could have led this race.
Yeah, no, he definitely could have. And a bit of an interesting thing to note as well is that Mark has actually gotten past Jeroen, like before Jeroen's even made his before he's even made his first pit stop. So, I mean, that's a bit of an interesting thing. There's Carmentalist 3-second time penalty. So, TDB technically could still come out with a podium, as well as, of course, Mark and Tin Can being just up ahead of those guys. But TDB definitely on for something, as I believe that is Lickle in the chat just saying, can we get a Spag Sucks?
Spag Sucks.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'll let Jake do the honours. But yeah, so TDB, as I was saying, he's definitely on for something, a good podium position for sure. As Miami's also just behind him, and he's actually dropped out of DRS to Carmentalist. 1.3 seconds now, and I think TDB is not enjoying these medium tyres from what I was seeing through that S section.
Yeah, and he went very deep into the hairpin in the stadium as well. Someone else who won't be enjoying matters is Tin Can. I think he's not really making the progress I would have expected him to on fresh softs. He's caught, he's not caught, he's catching Mark, but he's not really breaking away from Carmentalist either. The gap between them, 1.3 seconds, and considering Carmentalist is probably going to be on those tyres at the end, I'm not sure Tin Can, as he picks up a penalty into turn 1, isn't really doing enough right here to stake a claim for either the win or P2.
I don't know, you know, he's back in the DRS of Mark already got on that 1 second gap out from Jeroen. However, like you were saying, these soft tyres, they go about a second a lap faster than what the mediums do. As, oh, there's been a yellow flag, and there's a Ferrari. That's Damon. I think that was Damon anyway. It looked like he dropped back quite a few positions. I don't know if that was from like a slide out of turn 4 or what, but yeah, I saw Damon dropping down a couple places. I don't know what had happened to the Dutchman, but unfortunately he's now down in the P15 as Peter, the last one, or one of the last ones out of that top lot, has now picked himself up a 3-second time penalty.
I think Damon must have just dropped it out of turn 3, but he didn't hit the wall because he's still got a full complement of front wing elements. Just going back to Tin Can and Carmentalist. Tin Can is going to pass Mark this lap. I think that seems inevitable, but Carmentalist back in DRS with them. We won't have it this lap, but Yeah, he's running very well on those medium tyres. I think they're even better than Tin Can and Mark are on the softs. And Mark, look, his tyres seem very second-hand now. He's on their 8th lap of them. And a lot of people at the start were getting rid of them by that point, and he only did 6 laps on his first set, so he's put himself in a pickle here as to whether he's going to have to stretch this and slide back like Peter did and go for mediums, or he might just bail on it, cut his losses and go for a set of hards. But I think he did jump the gun on that first pit stop. It gained him a lot initially, but I wonder if he's gonna pay for that now. We have a yellow flag.
I'm not too sure what that was for. I'm really not too sure.
We have Caesar and Tim Matt side by side through turn 5. I'm not sure if Caesar was overtaken or Tim Matt was going around the outside, but nice clean racing from those two.
I'll tell you what though, Miami is losing out a lot of time to those top 3 guys because he's stuck behind Jeroen, who's still, as I said, yet to make a pit stop. Peter and TDB are all over the back of them, as Jeroen's still not yet to make a pit stop. And then now old school, yeah, there you go, Mark into the pits already, set of hards, so he is going to do soft to hard. Miami going down the inside, getting that move done on Jeroen. However, Peter also maybe trying to eye up a move on Miami as well, maybe going down the inside in towards turn 1. No, he does not. So no double overtake for the Dutchman of Peter, but it looks like he might get a very good run coming out of here. He will of course have DRS and Slipstream, whereas Miami is only just going to have just the DRS, but it might just be enough just to hold off. However, Peter maybe looking to go down the inside in towards turn 4, and he, I think, tried to think about it. It was a half-hearted move, but
extremely half-hearted.
Yeah, that's what's going to cost him that time, as TDB just sending it up the inside of Jeroen, just to make sure he does not lose out that time to the guys in front of him.
Yeah, speaking of Jeroen, he's starting to miss his window here. The ideal strategy is 10 laps on softs, 10 laps on softs, 16 laps on mediums if you were doing soft, medium. This is lap 16. If he stays out any longer than this lap, I think he's going to be losing more than he's gaining by staying out on these tyres, unless of course he's just hanging on for a safety car. But he went very deep and sluggish into the stadium, and he looks like, well, he looks like he's driving an F2 car, frankly, with the understeer on that thing, and he does pit.
Yeah, so he must be obviously listening to the stream, making that pit stop. Now he goes. We haven't had any retirements as of yet. As I say, that Caesar has dropped back 2 positions from Jarry and Harenwag at the back of the grid. I don't know what had happened to Caesar because he was just in front of them both. So, it's very strange.
He was racing with Tim Matt's last lap, and now he finds himself about 5-6 seconds off as Jeroen, Harenwag and JSD going side by side in turn 1. So that will not be nice for Jeroen. Having had his 15 minutes of fame at the front, he's now finds himself coming right out behind 2 cars that he's going to have to lose time getting past before he can set about making more progress on these fresh softs. But he's already cleared Harry. Yeah,
and of course him now down in P18, he's got a lot of work to do to try and make his way back up. But I think the softs are starting to die out for Tin Can now, because it's only 1.1 seconds separating him and Car Mentalist, and Tin Can just is not making up any sort of time on Car Mentalist whatsoever, which is really surprising.
Not at all. This is the point I think we'd see the mediums become quicker, and I think Car Mentalist will probably have DRS next lap. The thing for Tin Can is how early can he get rid of those softs, get onto the mediums, and try and build a gap through an undercut before Car Mentalist comes in and puts his softs on. Because right now he's not really doing enough, I'd say. We've seen how easy it is to overtake when you're on fresh tyres, and 1 second's advantage isn't really enough. That's 1 lap of undercut that Car Mentalist can pull back like that, frankly.
Yeah. So, well, I suppose Tin Can's got a bit of work cut out for him. He might even need to think about maybe even pitting this lap or the next lap, does Tin Can. So I wonder if we will see him end up coming in. However, TDB,
penalty for TDB.
That's what we was waiting for. TDB now with that penalty is of course out from those guys. And another thing as well is that Miami, as I've just seen, starting to gap Peter a bit more. Now, from what I last seen, Peter was almost side by side with Miami, and that was about 2 laps ago now. And now he's almost out of that 1 second window. In fact, it's about a 1 second window between them.
Yeah, Peter very lucky to stay in DRS this lap, and because it spares him from TDB's clutches. Who is that? That's Caesar who's retired. Is that?
I don't think he's retired, but I don't know if damage is. I was about to say I don't know if damage is on, but it is on. It is definitely on because he had to pit before. He's got himself some wing damage on those hard tyres, and I get the feeling.
I wonder if he may come in and retire.
Yeah, I was about to say he's just cutting the entirety of the stadium section.
10 seconds for his troubles.
But yeah, no, I feel like we may see him end up coming in and just retiring from the session. So I believe that will be our first retiree of the night for Division 3, which is very impressive. I must admit, it is very impressive.
Oh, he's not retiring yet. He's coming in for some mediums. Good on him. I say that when he'll retire at the exit. I did mention at the start that we only had 2 drivers at Hungary who went without penalties, and Mexico is much worse, and we're at half race distance just past, and we only have 2 drivers left who are penalty free, and we have 4 drivers in double figures as well.
Interestingly enough, Tinkan, our current race leader, made his way into the pits. So Tinkan now into the pits for a fresh set of medium tyres. This is where he's going to try it. Luke 05 also coming in for those medium tyres. Mark is just coming around the final corner.
My screen just glitched. I thought he was serving a 5-second penalty.
Oh, okay. I thought he was as well. But,
it just flashed from his pit box to halfway down the pit lane, but he's come out in clear air. That is beautiful for Tinkan. He's got exactly what he needed. He's got 3 seconds of space now to drive into. But he has a train beyond that, which he might find slows him down.
Yeah, for sure. And this is what I'm actually going to go on board with. So, we are actually going to go on board with not only Peter's point of view, which of course, as you can see on screen, is going on at the moment. We are also going to go on board with Mr. IFR Raleigh JT's point of view, as he's making his way through the middle of that pack. He is stuck behind Jerome. Of course, I'm on board with this battle here. 0.6 of a second is Raleigh behind Jeroen down in P9, and of course Raleigh still needing to make that second pit stop. He's going to go on a set of softs towards the end. Jeroen, I think, is also going to be the same, but on 4 lap fresher tyres in comparison to him. Is another one we may need to try and keep our eye out on come towards the end of the race. Of course, Barton about 4 seconds up the road from those guys now, so he's got clear air to his name and is actually starting to catch up to the back of Chill, interestingly enough. But Raleigh sticking on board with this battle here. He's got the DRS wide open and he's starting to close up to the back of Jeroen. However, I don't think he's going to be close enough to get any sort of move done leading up in towards turn 1. However, turn 2 and turn 3 we could be seeing something different, as now Trench and Damon just trading places behind them, but still running on board, of course, with this battle between Raleigh and Jeroen. As you may not see it on your screen, but Tinkan has just picked himself up another 3-second time penalty. Raleigh still unfortunately not being able to get any sort of move done on any of these guys, and as you can see, Peter's just sort of hanging on behind Miami for now, as we'll just go back on board with the mainstream as well for you guys. Yeah, TDB, he's doing well hanging on these guys, but he's going to need to get a move done if he wants any chance of possibly being able to take a win. As commented, it's already 3 seconds up the road from Miami, so he can afford to get another penalty.
But Carmentless has just picked up another penalty. He's on to 6 seconds, so that puts TDB a little, well, about 4.5 behind. So he's only 1.5 seconds safe as Carmentless to TDB. So I think he's still in with a good shout. He just picked it up. I think it must have been through the S section when you were on board with that battle.
Interesting, very, very interesting. So yeah, I mean, because I think Miami's got 6 seconds to his name. I believe Peter's got 6 seconds to his name. I haven't actually checked the penalties, so let's have a look. Oh, in fact, Peter's actually only on 3 seconds. TDB all over the back of Peter, actually. And we may be seeing a move going down between the 2 Dutchmen, as actually Peter putting it into overtake, just making sure he does not lose out a place to the Red Bull drivers. So Peter does manage to maintain that P3 position, and they're both closing up to the back of Miami. However, if these two do have a bit of a battle, then we could be seeing a bit of tension going on between these guys. Miami could just start to pull away and try and get the gap between these two as well, when they would just constantly be battling. And a little bit further on down behind, Chill with those 15 seconds of penalties and Barton with 17 seconds of penalties. They are, well, Chill's closing up to the back of Rudy. However, it's not exactly going to matter. And the same with Barton closing up to the back of those guys as well.
Rudy will be very hopeful that Chill isn't in an overtaking mood today.
Oh!
We have a retirement and a virtual safety car. And TDP will be licking his lips. The top 3 all past pit entry, and he snuck in. He's going to go onto a nice fresh set of mediums, and he'll get a pit stop for half price, while the top 3 will have to go around another lap. They can go for the softs, of course, but that's nothing compared to the time that
they're gonna make
TDP has
up.
just gained. Yeah.
And there you go. You can see it. In fact, Mark's only just behind him. In fact, Mark's jumped him. What?
No one was expecting anybody to use the hards today, and yet he's just let TDP go.
Okay, I don't think he actually managed to jump him in the end. I thought Mark actually jumped him, but yeah. Well, that was my apologies on that one. I saw Mark going past, and I thought he managed to actually get the jump on TDP in that in the end for that one. Chill, by the way, went into the pits as well, put on a fresh set of soft tyres.
Though they are not going to last.
I mean, yeah,
going to last.
it's going to be very tight. He's going to be on about 80% come towards the end of this race, for sure.
They may last, but he will be extremely slow.
Yeah.
I wonder, when did the VSC end? I wonder if Mark picked up an illegal overtake if TDB had just passed the safety car line.
I think it was that.
When Mark overtook him, yeah.
I think that was that. As Miami has actually just made his way into the pit. Yeah. Set of mediums for him.
TDB is going to gain a lot here. How far was he behind?
He was only just a little bit behind the likes of Miami and Peter.
So, and Miami was 3 seconds behind Carmentalist. So, as it is right now, that puts TDB within a second of Carmentalist, were the leader to stop now. He's going to have to react soon. If he hangs on too long for softs, he's given up track position.
The only thing I would really say is that if Carmentalist did stay out, it is still going to benefit him anyway going on those set of softs. Like 2 laps,
yeah, definitely.
So maybe compromise going on between mediums and softs, I would say is worth it anyway. So I mean, if I was Carmentalist, I would stay out and just go on a set of softs at the end anyway. I guess we will wait and see as he makes his way around the final corner. He does indeed stay out. Does Peter react to Miami coming into the pits, however? He does. And he gets a 5-second stop go. Oh dear, Peter.
Dear, oh dear. That is a bottle.
Certainly is. Chill and Miami going side by side through the stadium section, by the way. I think Chill tried shoving that straight up the inside of Miami, and he's actually gotten himself wing damage because of it. Chill now with front right end plate, I think, as I said, tried absolutely diving it up the inside of Miami. And now, there is Peter coming out of the pits. He's been jumped by not only 1, not only 2, but 3 cars, and Chill has that wing damage. Miami getting past Mark in the end as well. Chill going very, very deep in towards turn 1. Peter, an absolute sitting duck in relation to all of this, and so close to him going into the back of Mark. Chill, he's going to, excuse me, get past Old School, and it's Peter. I don't think Peter's going to be able to get past him either.
He'll give it a go though, and well, Peter, have a little patience, but he gets through. I stand corrected. I think Mark, perhaps part of him thought, yeah, I'm not fighting that one. You go about with your business and I'll go about mine, and let him go, because he knew what was coming there. You could see it. And as Peter's already passed Chill.
Yeah, coming through the S's, Chill just going very wide at the exit because of that wing damage to his name. So very unfortunate for Chill in that one. I won't be surprised if we see the QVR man pit maybe very soon, but yeah, Chill, as I said, he's got that wing damage to his name. Going back onto that thing with Mark and Peter as well, I would definitely have said it was the exact opposite for Mark. I'm sure Mark would have tried his hardest to try and hold up as many people as possible, making sure that he was the one that was in front and making sure they knew about it. But I think just where Peter on the much softer compounder tyre, much younger compounder tyre. I think it was just a bit unfortunate for Mark where he couldn't hold on, didn't get the traction that he wanted. Peter got the exact traction that he needed to make sure he got in front of Mark and ended up just going straight past him. Now Peter's got a bit of a job to do. He's the leading soft runner because obviously Chill with that dim wing damage as well. Chill, I would say, is more or less out of this. He needs to make up a lot of time. As Peter, as I said, on these soft tyres, I'm assuming Car Mentalist is going to pit this lap. I'm assuming Rudy, Jeroen, all going to make their pit stops this lap. Of course, Tin Can, the other one that also made that pit stop early on, is on those mediums already. So he doesn't need to make any other stop. As yeah, Car Mentalist into the pits. Rudy, I'm just keeping on board with him. He goes into the pits. And Jeroen, I believe he will also follow into the pits to go on those softs. In fact, no, he stays out. Interestingly enough.
How old are Jeroen's tyres? 14 laps. Could he think, I can do 23 laps on a set of softs here? Because I'll tell you that if he's feeling gutsy, there's no reason why you can't give it a go, unless he believes the softs aren't worth it for 10 laps, but he's gone very deep. That's a big lock-up, and looked like he just slipped into the pause menu into AI there.
Yeah, I think I was
turns
just on
5 and
board.
6. That was very strange.
Yeah, I think I was just on board with Tin Can then, and he had the X above his name, so I'm not too sure what had happened with Jeroen there.
I'm on board. He's lagging a great deal.
Yeah.
He couldn't be trying a one-stop, could he? Because the best lap to pit for softs would have been 25 or 26.
Yeah.
If he's staying out any longer than this lap, he's giving away 3 positions in 3 times. So
Interesting. If he does do the one stop, I'll be very, very impressed. But Commentalist, this is the battle right behind TDB, as I believe TDB, I think has just been given a saving grace. I think he's going to get DRS off of Caesar. He has. So TDB been gifted DRS off of Caesar. However, Commentalist overtake on for him. Much more DRS to play with. Going straight around the outside. TDB will still have DRS for the second sector. And there's been another yellow flag. That is Damon once again at the stadium section. I'm not too sure what has happened there, as Barton managing to get past Jeroen. Same with Raleigh as well. I'm not too sure where Jeroen's going to come out. In fact, it's just up ahead of Vapor Trench. And now Commentalist. 1.4 seconds separates him and Tin Can.
yeah, Commentalist is a man on a mission, isn't he? But he's got that extra penalty to TDB. He needs to break the 3 seconds, and by the end of the race, I think the tyres are going to come back towards TDB, even though they're 4 laps older, because those soft tyres drop off so much. But he needs to do what he did, exactly what he did with, say that, but it looks like he just picked up 2 warnings there going through the S's.
Yeah.
But he needs to do to Tin Can what he did to TDB and get past immediately, because after his early, I suppose you could say, leisurely drive he was having, he's in a position now where the race is very much on the line if he can't make this overtake stick, and quickly, but I think he's going to.
Yeah, he certainly is. And I'm just going to look at the penalty situation, because there's a lot that has been handed out at the moment. Chill on 21 seconds of penalties, and Barton on 18. Caesar has 27 seconds of penalties. Damon with 24. So it looks like they're trying to do a bit of a contest to see who has the highest tally of penalties to their name, as Commentalist getting a move done on Tin Can and Peter getting a move done on his fellow Dutchman of TDB. Peter, I don't want to actually say is still ruled out of this. He's got that 5-second stop go, of course, to his name. However, Commentalist only has 2 more seconds of penalties to his name. If Peter can do a bit of a catch-up job to Tin Can and to Commentalist, I still wouldn't actually technically rule out Peter for it.
Absolutely, he has got a big mountain to climb with that penalty, but there's no reason why. I mean, Commentalist is 1 warning away from another penalty himself. And I just looked, he did get 2 warnings indeed through the S's that last lap, so I wonder if he's just getting a little bit angsty about the fact that he's had this race kind of taken away from him a little bit after how easy it was looking early on. A couple of mistakes creeping in as he's trying to get past Tin Can. But yeah, Peter's still in this, but he needs to get past Tin Can and try and keep that gap at the very least in sight, because Commentalist tyres will go off, and Damon is having more adventures through the S's.
Yep, certainly is. And there you go, Peter. He's been let through. He's been released. So the Dutchman now 1.5 seconds separating him and Car Mentalist. Like you said, if Car Mentalist picks up that extra penalty, then really it then falls that back onto Peter and TDB as to who's going to be where. Because, technically, Peter needs to try and make up 5 seconds from TDB, and at the moment it's only about 2 seconds that separates them.
Damon has spun again. I would like to ask the question on stream: is he okay this race? He's had many misadventures the last few laps, and he comes into the pits. Is he going to be our second retirement with his 24 seconds of penalties? No. He's going for a new front wing and some softs. Good on him. Fastest lap. Oh, Sofian Caesar. Well, Caesar's a lap down, but going through a battle between Sofian and his teammate Luco 5 through turn 5 and 6. That looked very spicy.
I'll tell you what, another thing that's a bit spicy that's heating up still is this battle between Chill and Old School. Mark still not being able to get that move done on Chill. And, well, I know that Chill's got that front wing damage to his name as well, so it makes that even more harder for him to try and defend from Old School. However, those softs, they're definitely starting to go off now. As there you can see Mark, DRS wide open, overtake on 4 and 0 ERS to his name now. But we'll have that advantage of DRS in comparison to Chill. Chill only with 3% ERS. Move done for Mark. Up into P7. How many penalties does Mark have? 6.
He's got 2.
He could jump
so
Tin
right
Can.
now, he definitely, I think, what's the gap there? 9 seconds. Yeah, they're pretty much dead even when pens are taken into account. This race isn't going. It's starting to slip away from TDB though. I would have had him down as the favourite to win, but being stuck behind Tin Can.
There's our second retiree, Damon.
Well, was that really surprising with the volume of penalties we were seeing given out? Caesar is probably one warning or something away from disqualification himself. Yeah, TDB was about 3.4 behind Car Mentalist with 3 seconds in hand in terms of penalties. It's now slipped to 5.2. Any hope, I think, with Car Mentalist on those softs, so long as he can hold them together, I think he has got this covered now.
Yeah, it does definitely look like it, and as you were saying about that as well, I think Car Mentalist is the one that's actually on the charge. I mean, but the gap between him and Peter about 2 to 3 laps ago was about 2.2 or 2.3 seconds or something like that. No, it was even less than that. It was about 1.7, sorry. It's now gone up by 1.5 seconds. So Car Mentalist really is the one that is making that push, that's making that charge. I don't think he really cares if he gets another penalty. He wants to get out of that other 3 second gap just to make sure, and that's exactly what he's done. 3.1 seconds now separates him and Peter. And now, really, Car Mentalist is the one that is now in the lead of this race, even if he even with that extra penalty to his name.
Well, if he gets the extra penalty right now, TDB is 1.5 tenths inside him, and if those softs go off, that could come down again. So he's not completely out of the woods. He just needs to avoid that warning.
Yeah.
TDB has now just slipped past 6 seconds, but it's going to yo-yo, I think, a lot these last few laps as those softs go off for our race leader.
Yeah, no, it certainly will. And what's his podium looking like? Because there's so many penalties to everybody's name. Peter's now got, in fact, Peter's got 11 seconds, so he's definitely out of it.
It's Car Mentalist TDB Miami right now. Miami is 4 seconds behind Peter with 5 seconds better off on penalties.
Yeah, so Miami, I think he's going to hope that these tyres do start dropping off as well, just to make sure that he can get himself on that podium. Otherwise,
I say that, but Rudy
very
is
close.
only 3 seconds. It's only 3 seconds behind Miami with 1 less penalty as well. So actually, Peter, Miami, Rudy are all split by just a few tenths right now in terms of penalties. So Rudy could even sneak that 3rd place.
Yeah. All is possible. I mean, I think one thing that we know is for certain is that Car Mentalist, I think, is the one that's going to take the win for tonight. But it's just the rest.
Well, I'm rooting for Raleigh, who's
I was going to say
the only person without pens.
Yeah.
Huge respect for that, because as the other drivers have proven, it's it's no easy feat. I think we must be well over, well, triple figures I was going to say, but I think Caesar, Harry, Barton, Chill and Tin Can have more than 100 seconds of penalties combined.
Just to their names alone.
51 for Harry and Caesar.
Oh my god.
And yeah, Barton, Chill, Harry, Caesar have 103 seconds combined, if my quick math serves me well. So yeah, I'm going to name and shame on stream there. Yeah, it's not very good, is it? But, I say that, but I'll probably get 18 seconds myself in a few minutes. So
you will never know. You will never know. But 2 more laps left to go of this race. Carmenlis is the one that is very, very far in the lead. Caesar, just for some reason, is slowing down majorly. Is he? I was going to say, is he still got fuel?
I think he's just letting these guys go. I think he's just letting these guys go because he's a lap down. We have quite a Luke train here of Luke, Tim Mats, and the 2 AlphaTauris of Sofian and JSD. So they might be one to watch for on the last lap.
It looks like we might be seeing a bit of a battle as well occurring between Chill and Harrenmark down in P16. Of course, not particularly the battles that we was all expecting, but I suppose that's
Chill's race has really come undone. He did say to go easy on him because it's his birthday, but his race has taken a dive bomb since that half spin at turn 1 off that failed overtake. But he's lining up Harry, and he hits Harry, bumps him into the stadium. Luckily that Greek didn't spin around there, but poor Chill.
Interestingly enough, Mr. XL Tin Can has just picked himself up yet another 3-second time penalty. So I believe that is now 18 seconds to his name, and he is going to be jumped by Mark.
I think he's marked for an extra 2 tenths, but Rudy's just got a penalty.
Well,
bye podium for Rudy. It's swayed back or swung back towards Miami.
Yeah, I think Miami really was hoping that would happen. Barton, the next one to now be disqualified for receiving multiple penalties. And trust me, I will be making fun of him as soon as I do end up joining a party with him. But yeah, very unfortunate for him.
Disqualification is very much the penalty badge of shame, isn't it? As we're now on to our last lap.
And you know what? We haven't been on board with him much. We'll go on board with Common into this because he's driven an absolute stellar race so far. 6 seconds of penalties to his name. Even if nobody else had penalties, he would still take this win. He's 7 seconds up the road from Peter. Peter his tyres are definitely dropping off as Tin Can. In fact, I say we go on board with Commentalist. We're going to go on board with Tin Can because he's trying to go around the outside of Peter in towards turn 4. And he might actually get this move stuck. It doesn't really matter because he's going to get the place on Tin Can anyway. But this could be a couple of jumps that could happen. If TDB gets himself a penalty in this final lap, there's still a chance of Miami possibly coming second. Never mind.
Yeah, Miami is all over TDB, but he's just had a penalty and he had a big moment as well. And Rudy goes through. Is Rudy's podium back on? Yeah.
Definitely back on now, considering he's just gotten that move done on Miami. What a cracking move from that as well. Through the S section, but you know what? Back on board with Carmentalist. I do apologise, Jay. I have to interrupt you because Carmentalist has taken the second race victory for the pre-season races. It's second race victory. It's his first race victory in the pre-season races, and this is where we're now going to start seeing all the penalties come to fruition. There you go, there's your podium. TDB in second. Rudy does come home and finish in third place. Miami in fourth. Peter in fifth with Tin Can in sixth. Mark does end up finishing seventh in the end. Or is it seventh because Raleigh coming across the line jumps up ahead of Mark, the only driver to pick up no penalties to his name. And you've just got to give him kudos for it. P7 for Raleigh in the end. Vapor Trench, from starting down, I believe, in 19th place, ended up making up 10 places, so up into 9th. It's a good result from him. Heroin in the 10th.
And Chill has pushed Sofian through the last corner, completely bumped him out of the way to overtake the AlphaTauri driver. Sorry to interrupt you, but that was, I wouldn't say dirty, but yeah, it was dirty.
It was not clean.
He pushed him out. Pushed him out. Yeah, it was not clean. Pushed him out of the way.
And Game Vote and Vapor Trench's driver of the day Do you agree with that, or are you going to go with somebody else?
I'm gonna go with car mentalist, but I think shout out for Rudy for avoiding the penalties and coming back from the early Caesar train to get himself into a podium, because TDB, Miami, Chill, Tin Can had all kind of run away at that point a little bit, hadn't they? So he did very well to put himself back in, but you can't look past car mentalist. Driver of the day.
Without a doubt, you definitely can't look past him. But there you go. There is your race winner for the second pre-season race of the season, and the final pre-season race. As next week we will be going straight over to the first race of the season for season 5 in Austria. But for now, Car Mentalist taking the win by TDB in second place with Rudy in third. Miami in fourth with Peter in fifth, Tin Can in sixth. Raleigh again, I've got to give props to him, the only driver to not pick up any sort of penalties, and finishes in P7 in the end. I would possibly also say he could be a nomination for driver of the day with that. Mark in 8th with Trench in 9th, Euron in 10th, Tim Mats in 11th with JSD in 12th, Luke 05 in 13th with Sofian in 14th, Chill in 15th, Harenwag in 16th, and then our non-finishers of the night with Caesar picking up the fastest lap of the race but ended up DNFing in the end, Damon in 18th, unfortunately DNFing as well, or disqualifying, Euron in 19th, also DNFing, and Barton DSQing in the end as well in P20. So that has been the second pre-season race. Have I said that right? The second pre-season race of the season, I suppose. Have you got any final thoughts at all, Killer?
Not particularly, just that it was a very good race. It was a tremendous shame about the penalties, although it did keep us guessing all the way till the end, but I'm hopeful we can have more of the same next week at Austria, when there are actually points on offer.
We shall await and see. But that has been the second pre-season race of the season. Division 1 and Division 4, I believe, have also just finished. And make sure you guys are catching Division 2 and Division 5 in about 10 minutes' time. D2 being done by Dakar, and, of course, your D3 race winner of Car Mentalist. And Division 5 being done by Mr. XL Tin Can and Ivor Bryn Mike. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And we will catch you guys next week for the first race of the season around the Red Bull Ring.